and its miracle. We need to understand what the miracle of the Qur'an was. So even though Arab society was fast deteriorating, because we said it was getting materially driven by material desires, religiously and socially it was declining, there were some extremely positive qualities in the Arab life. Chivalry, honesty. The Arabs would be courageous. They would never lie, even in the most difficult situations. They would stick to the truth. They were honest people. Hospitality. There are incidents in Arabia at that time where you would take care of your guest and get into a high level of debt financially, just because you wanted to show generosity towards your guest. So hospitality, taking care of your guest, was an extremely important part of Arab life. A sense of honor. These were people of honor. Honor, which means that they wanted to be respected. They wanted to stay free. So these were all good qualities which the Arabs had before Islam. So the tribe was very important. The idols were important, but the honor, the human dignity, the self-respect, these were also very important in Arab life. Perhaps the greatest achievement of the Arabs was their language. This was the golden age for the Arabic language. Just before Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is born, this was the peak, if you would like to call it, when it comes to the Arabic grammar, when it comes to Arabic poetry, when it comes to Arabic prose, sentence structure, the use of words. So Arabic was thriving. At the same time, the other great world languages were on a decline. Hebrew was declining. Aramaic was already at a, hardly anybody spoke that language around the world. And other great languages of the world were also declining. And this is one of the reasons why God or Allah chose the Qur'an to be revealed in the Arabic language in this particular culture, because of the strength of the language and the beauty of the language, which at this point was thriving. Tribal poets and historians served as the CNN and the BBC of the time. So the media of the time were the poets. These poets, these tribal poets, where each tribe would have its own distinguished poets who would write poetry about tribal history. They would write poetry on tribal wars, tribal heroes, praising the tribe's lineage, honoring it, and at the same time using a lot of verses and poetry against rival tribes, where they would defame other tribes and defame other people from other tribes. So this was the media at the time in Arabia. These tribal poets were extremely important members of each and every tribe, because they would increase or decrease, depending on how good they were, the honor of each tribe in Arabia. They would compose elaborate works of poetry and prose praising tribal heroes, reflecting the superiority of their tribes, and at the same time, as I said, belittling other tribes. Also, you have to understand that this was primarily an oral culture. The Arab culture at this time was primarily an oral culture. This was not a written culture. Even though there were a few individuals who knew how to read and write, the majority of the masses, they were illiterate people, including Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, as we will find out in the coming episodes. So most of the people in Arabia did not know how to read and write. What this means is, and this you will find common in all oral cultures, when people cannot depend on writing, then they have to enhance their memories. So in the pre-Islamic Arabia, the Arab culture depended heavily on their skills of memorization. So from a very young age, you would be sent to these people who would sharpen your memory, and you would practice drills where you would hear passages and you would have to repeat them at the drop of a hat. So these people were professional memorizers, where you would recite a whole passage in front of one of these guys and they would be able to repeat it right in front of your eyes. Because they depended and they mastered this. Today, for us to understand this is very difficult, because we depend so much on writing. We depend so much on computers, on books and written material, and we hardly ever rely on our memories. And that's one of the reasons we have so so weak memories. As human beings today, we have declined when it comes to the sharpness of our memories. So this was primarily an oral culture. They depended on their memory. They used to be arrogant when it came to their oratory skills, when it came to their skills in the Arabic language. In fact, they used to say that no one can beat us in the Arabic language. No one is better than us in the usage of this language, in the sentence structure, in saying poetry without preparing for it, in saying prose, all kinds of literary achievements. The Arabs used to boast and arrogantly boast and say that nobody can beat us. And this is why the Qur'an became such a big miracle. And this is the reason why the Qur'an was a miracle, because it was a literary miracle. It challenged the Arabs with something that they themselves thought nobody can outdo them in. Nobody can compete with them, which we will find out in the coming episodes why the Qur'an was such a great miracle when it comes to the language. So with this, I think we should end here. We talked today about women's rights in pre-Islamic Arabia, as well as slavery, which reflects some of the social decline in Arabia, but at the same time the positive aspect of Arabian society, the greatest of which is the Arabic language. And with this we end. Once again, I hope that you learned and you enjoyed these sessions. Please feel free to give me your feedback through the email address which is listed on the screen, or by posting comments on the YouTube videos. If I said something good, then know that it was from Allah, from God. And if I confused you with something or made errors in something, then that is because of myself, my human weakness. I ask Allah's forgiveness and then yours. Have a good time with your families. Take care of yourself and keep learning, keep striving to find the truth. And may Allah guide all those who are the seekers of truth. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Peace be upon you.